El Camino baseball is built upon hard work, resilience, and family. Last Thursday, April 18th, one of our brothers went home to be with his Lord and Savior. 19-year-old Sladen Mohl will be remembered for his wholesome character and pure heart. He was a kid with much ambition who left us too soon. Number 18, you will forever be a warrior. And Sladen, this season is for you, buddy. Hello, everyone, and welcome out to Warrior Field for today's matchup featuring your El Camino Warriors and Los Angeles Harbor College. Devastating news to open up the broadcast as 19-year-old Sladen Mohl was taken from us Thursday night in a fatal accident involving him and a 16-year-old driver, allegedly under the influence of narcotics and/or alcohol. It's devastating news to say the least. Sladen was a young kid with much ambition, with much talent, and just overall kindness that poured out of his heart. It's time to play baseball nonetheless. But as we do so, we will continue to live out his legacy and pursue this ring and pursue this trip to Fresno for our buddy who is watching upon us now. Jeff, thank you for joining me for today's broadcast as well. I know you have some words you also want to go ahead and deliver for Sladen and his family.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, it's like you said, just devastating news. It's a very tragic thing that's happened, but we're trying to do our best here as a Warrior family to come together and support each other during this tough time. Had a beautiful service here, memorial service for him here at the field yesterday evening. Head coach Nate Fernley did a fantastic job speaking to the masses of people that showed up, along with four of his teammates, Nathan Draves, Zach Finley, Ty Conrad, and Joseph Brazil. So they just did a fantastic job in his memory, talking about what he meant to them as individuals and to this program as a whole. Sladen really was just a part of the community, a part of the Warrior family, and he's going to be dearly, dearly missed. But we're trying to do everything we can for in his honor and in his name and for the family to just make sure that we are living out our lives the way that he would want us to.
Without a doubt, for sure, yeah, it was devastating news. That's the reason why the non-conference matchup on Friday against Taft College was canceled. That game will not be rescheduled, as I've heard. Well, yeah, Jeff, as you mentioned, man, he was just a wholesome character for sure. He was a nice kid, and he loved the game of baseball. So what better way to celebrate his life than by honoring him through the things he loved?
Yeah, absolutely. And he's, like I said, he's just one of those kids. He was special, and you heard it from everybody that spoke yesterday. All his teammates, his family, Nate. Just everyone talked about how special he was. And how great of a young man he was. Just always trying to get better and be better than he was at everything, at academics, athletics. As a family person, just a tremendous young man, one that will be dearly missed by everyone whose lives he touched.
Well, this season from here on out will be played in his honor for sure, and I can assure you without a doubt that is further motivation for his teammates, because the purpose for this season goes beyond the game of baseball. It is for their beloved brother. Being a part of the El Camino baseball team ensures that you build relationships with those around you. It's far more than just a game. To these people, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah, absolutely, and Sladen really embodied that. He was the first one here. He lived with his roommate Ty Conrad, our left fielder that we're fortunate to have out here, and they always showed up early. Sladen would drag Ty out the door early, get to practice, to take some swings in the cages, and just try and perfect his craft. And And then again, after practice, long day of practice, they'd be in the cages, just finishing up, getting some swings off the tee, continuing to try to get better. So, he really embodied what, the baseball community is about, and really this Warriors program. So, like you said, we're just trying to, I think the best thing that we can do as a program is to play with everything we've got, all of our heart and our soul, and really leave everything out on the field in his honor.
It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Eric Alamillo. That's Aaron Orozco on the mound today for the Warriors, as that's blooped out towards the left side into the glove of Taishi Nakawake for the first out of the inning. It's the Warriors in L.A. Harbor College. L.A. Harbor comes in with an overall record of 13-22-1, as opposed to the El Camino overall record of 29-6. That is J.J. Duarte now at the plate for L.A. Harbor. Andrew Castellon opened up the ballgame with a single towards right field. Throw back over to first, not in time. Well, lost in the mix of the emotions and the heartbreak is more so, well, the severity of this upcoming series between the Warriors and L.A. Harbor College. It's really hard to gather your emotions in time for this kind of situation, but this series in particular is huge for the Warriors heading into the playoffs. Long Beach City College and El Camino, they are battling it out for the top spot in the division. El Camino, sits only half a game behind the Vikings. So every game that's played from here to Friday has huge implications on the Warriors' future in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. We've talked about it on previous broadcasts, but really this is a monumental week, and tough to kind of say that when you're dealing with what we're dealing with, that a game can have so much importance. But really, as far as the postseason goes, this is crunch time for the Warriors program, and we'll see if Long Beach can continue their winning ways along with the Warriors. So we'll see that this is an important week, and we'll see if Warriors can take care of business.
1 ball and 2 strikes, one man down. Andrew Castellon just took stolen base, or second base rather via a stolen base, pardon me. Here's the 1-2 pitch, high fastball swung on and missed for strike 3. First strikeout of the ball game for Aaron Orozco on the mound. And that'll bring up Jake McKenna. We'll take a look at the Warriors defensively. Behind the plate, Brendan Casillas. On the mound, of course, Aaron Orozco. At first base, Spencer Palmer. At second base, Spencer Long. At short, Taishi Nakawake. At third base, Matthew Becerra. In left field, Ty Conrad. In center field, Joseph Borges. And in right, Logan Young. Pitch is in there for a strike, 0-1. So for most of the season, Sladen was behind the plate for the Warriors. Nonetheless, the last 2 games in particular, it was Brendan Casillas who had taken over the position. And sure enough, due to the situation, Casillas seems to be the official backstop now for El Camino.
Yeah, and I think that, Warriors are fortunate. Casillas has worked so hard throughout the year, and he's been right there every step of the way, learning, talking with the pitching staff, getting to know them, catching their bullpens. So he's very, very familiar with the arms on this staff. So hopefully the Warriors aren't going to miss much, in terms of swapping him out with Sladen. So hopefully he'll be able to jump right into the mix and contribute for this team.
1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 men down. Castellon leads off a second. Orozco takes a peek, settles back in, delivers a 1-2 pitch, ground ball towards the left side. Matthew Becerra picks it, throws over to first, and the inning is over. We head to the bottom half of the first inning. El Camino and the Seahawks are all tied up at 0. We are to the bottom half of the first inning here from Warrior Field. That is Arturo Alvarez on the mound for LA Harbor College. He's a freshman, 6-2 on the season. We'll get you more on him shortly. Number 28 does not appear to be on their online roster, so let's see what number he appears as here. The online roster gives us more of an in-depth analysis of who the player truly is. Gives us his stats along with a bio. His name is Arturo Alvarez. And I am sure by all means that he is not on this roster. The reason for it, I have no idea. I'd like to get you more on him, but that's all that is made available to me. Taking a look at the Warriors lineup nonetheless. Leading things off is Logan Young, batting second, Spencer Palmer. Batting third, Spencer Long. Or batting third, Joseph Borges, pardon me. Batting fourth, Spencer Long. Batting fifth, Ty Conrad. Batting sixth, Aaron Orozco. Batting seventh, Matthew Becerra. Batting eighth, Brendan Casillas. And batting ninth, Taishi Nakawake. Your two-man umpiring crew for today's ball game: behind the plate, Diego Robles. And the home plate, or not the home plate, but the infield umpire, Jose Martin. It's 1-2 strikes here to Logan Young. High fastball above the chest. The count is even at 2-2 strikes. Logan Young hitting a solid .319 on the season. He's 5'1", 187 pounds, out of Torrance, California. Has 8 RBIs and 5 stolen bases, so if he gets on, look at him to run. As the 2-2 is on the outer half and misses low, 3-2 strikes to count. Spencer Palmer awaits on deck. Joseph Borges in the hole. The Warriors and the Seahawks squaring off for the first time this season. El Camino closing out conference play this week against LA Harbor College, as that is flown out towards right center field. The right fielder makes the play. One man down.
We'll see if Palmer can get things started here for the Warriors. Usually one of the guys that kind of gets this offense rolling. So we'll see if he has some more of that in store for today.
Long Beach with a conference record of 15-4. El Camino with a conference record of 14-5. So that's actually more than half a game. That's one full game that the Warriors are behind. LA Harbor's in third place in the South Coast South. They have a conference record of 7-11-1. That's the line towards the left side, but foul. The Vikings are closing out their season against Compton College. The Tartars, they are leading that ball game in the top of the second inning, 3-0. And if I'm going to be completely honest with you, the odds of Long Beach dropping even one game to Compton is slim. Now, the odds of them dropping 2 games seems almost impossible. But it's a game of baseball, and Compton is without a doubt looking to play spoiler.
Yeah, Compton is one of those teams that, if you don't pay the respect that you need to for them and you don't take them seriously, they'll sneak up on you and they'll snatch one right from you. So, it's definitely a team that can win some ball games. Not the most consistent team, but definitely there's a chance of them taking a game.
It's no balls and two strikes to Spencer Palmer. One man down in the inning, no score, just getting started from Warrior Field. The 0-2 is on the outer half and it misses for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Logan Young opened up the inning with a fly out towards right. Alvarez looks down the barrel to get a sign, delivers the 1-2 on the outer half and misses. Count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And Palmer putting together a pretty impressive at-bat here. Looking at some pitches just off the plate, taking those, fouling off some good pitches by the pitcher. So he looks locked in here early, Jonathan.
Here's the 2-2 pitch from Alvarez on the outer half. The home plate umpire refuses to pull the trigger. We saw the catcher behind the plate, J.J. Duarte, getting ready to throw it around the horn. Instead, the count is full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. The pitcher gets the sign. 3-2 is laced out towards right center field. The center fielder backpedaling makes the play. Good at bat there nonetheless by Spencer Palmer.
Yeah, really good at bat there. Made the pitcher throw a lot of pitches, spoiled some good ones that he threw by fouling them off and out of play. It was a good long at bat there from Spencer Palmer, which we're accustomed to seeing this year.
The Warriors riding a 3-game winning streak, looking to go undefeated for the rest of this season. 3 games are left, 2 after this one. They have a 29-6 overall record. Their conference record, as I had mentioned earlier, 14-5. At home, nonetheless, they are 13-2. Away, 16-4. As a team, the Warriors are doing really well. They are hitting .273.
Just a tremendous season put together so far here by the Warriors. When you talk about 2 home losses and only 4 losses on the road all year, I mean you're talking about a pretty darn good season.
Joseph Borges digs in now. The 0-2 is slapped foul towards the right side. Borges out of Bellflower, California, hitting a very nice .339 on the season with 29 RBIs and 3 home runs. 2018, he played in 36 games with El Camino. He hit .303 then with 31 RBIs. It's towards the right side once again. In foul territory, the right fielder makes a diving attempt, but according to the home plate umpire, or not the home plate umpire, but the infield umpire, he was well down the right field line, and he said there was no catch.
Yeah, it looks like he almost got there, but just wasn't able to make the play and secure the ball there at the end. Looked like the ball hit the ground, but that's a heck of an effort there by the right fielder.
No balls and 2 strikes to Borges. Alvarez gets the sign. The 0-2. That's hit towards the left side into the glove of the shortstop to put an end to the inning. We've played 1 complete inning from Warrior Field. We remain scoreless. Jonathan Ortiz alongside Jeff Mira for today's broadcast.
And just kind of as we, in between innings here, as we keep the camera here on the scoreboard, you can see, for those of you that are following along, we have the number 18 up in the at-bat section of the scoreboard, and we're going to have that up there all game long, just as another kind of tribute to Sladen. Unfortunately, we don't have a very good angle from where we're filming at, but our facilities crew, one of our painters, Jimmy, did a fantastic job. We have a beautiful number 18 painted behind home plate on the grass, kind of in a tribute to Sladen, being a catcher and that being his position. We thought it was fitting to put that there. So that will continue to be there for the remainder of the season as the Warriors kind of make their playoff run. Just a tribute to, a young man that gave his everything to this program and to those that he encountered. He just was so kind and so loving, um, and just such an unfortunate event that, led to his untimely passing. But, and for those of you that are listening and following along, if anybody does wish to, help and contribute to his family and the expenses of, his family's all from Alaska, so he was out here on his own, a long way from home. So, some added expenses when it comes to the logistics of stuff like this. So there is a GoFundMe set up for Sladen in his honor. It's a Sladen Mohl Memorial Fund at GoFundMe if you're feeling, the need to kind of help contribute to the family and the expenses that are forthcoming.
Without a doubt, yeah, it's something unexpected towards the family for sure, and especially them being from Alaska. I mean, they had the expense of flying all of themselves out here in itself, and then going back home along with Sladen and his body. I mean, it's definitely going to be a tedious route for the family from here on out, and it just sucks to pile on, the stress of expenses along with, the heartbreak of losing a family member that has flown out towards right field into the glove of Logan Young.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's kind of what we've been trying to work on and just really Nate Fernley, and Colin Preston have just done a fantastic job of taking care of the family as best as we can during this difficult time. Just trying to provide any sort of help or assistance or support that we can for them, because this is hard for all of us,
Yeah,
and on his family it's got to be 10 times worse than any of us are feeling. So just really anything that we can do for them, we are here for them, and we love them. We're sending them our thoughts and prayers from the entire Warrior family. So they are in our hearts.
Yeah, without a doubt, the program has done a lovely job standing by the family in this moments of grievance, and we will continue to support them. And I know without a doubt the family will continue to follow El Camino baseball, because up until the last points of life for Sladen, this is all he knew. He was well integrated into the program, and during the course of the season, this is all you are devoted to. Any kind of spare time you have is devoted towards your team, towards practice, towards you getting better for the benefit of your teammates. So Sladen died being a Warrior, and by all means, he will continue to be one in our hearts. We head to the bottom half of the second inning. We remain scoreless here from Warrior Field, and we'll take a short break. Spencer Long leads things off for El Camino here in the bottom half of the second inning. We remain scoreless. The Warriors and the Seahawks squaring off in game number one of a three-game series. The Warriors as well as LA Harbor closing out conference play this week. A game today, another game on today's Tuesday, right? Another game on Thursday, and finally we'll close out the series on Friday. Spencer Long rips a single towards left field. He took a wide turn, throw back over to first, and they got him leaning. That was rough.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate there. You get caught a little bit with being a bit over aggressive, and looked like a bang play. Could have gone either way, but unfortunately it goes the way of the Harbor Seahawks on that one.
Yeah, but you've without a doubt got to tip your cap to them. That was a fantastic play. Really heads up by the catcher to go ahead and cover first base. Strong throw as well from the right fielder. I mean, that was executed perfectly without a doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it looked like that was kind of something they had been working on throughout the week, and it pays off there. They were able to get an out on something that was a solid base hit by Long.
1 ball and no strikes to Ty Conrad. Ty, of course, was a roommate of Sladen, so that's definitely got to be sitting on him heavier than some of the other teammates due to the fact that he spent so much time, alongside his buddy. So.
Yeah, absolutely. He had some of his other roommates were on the football team here at El Camino College. So, it was great to see them. They've been here kind of throughout all of the process as well. As soon as they heard about it, yeah, they were all out here last night at the memorial, and they've kind of been talking with the family when they had a chance to, and just kind of keeping each other up and trying to support each other through this tough time. But yeah, Ty is just a tremendous young man. He's been so great, and he really cared about Sladen. They were so close, and just to see him kind of working through this, we're all just trying to be here for Ty during this time as well, because like you said, it weighs on him a little bit more.
Yeah, without a doubt. I showed up to the memorial that's located on Hawthorne and Sepulveda on Thursday, 2 times, one earlier in the day, and Nathan Draves was there alongside one of the so-called El Camino super fans that was there, just pouring out his heart to Sladen. And I went later on in the evening, and I found one of his former roommates who was currently a football player here with the Warriors. His name was Jay. I don't know what his last name was, but yeah, he told me just how much of a kind-hearted person Sladen was. He avoided trouble. He did not, want to position himself as a burden on the back of his teammates due to the fact that he didn't have a car. He would always just get around on skateboard. He didn't care for asking for rides. He was an individual who was independent and who relied on himself to move around, and all he wanted to do was play baseball. And unfortunately for him, life was cut short before he was able to continue his career, perhaps at a 4-year level for sure. I mean, he had success playing in high school, and I know due to some of the news articles I read, he was a really loved kid out in Alaska and their high school program out there, and some of their news stations also covered his passing as well.
Yeah, he's just one of those kids. I mean, we've heard in the last few days. I've been fortunate to hear some just touching stories about Sladen in his life, and it just seemed like he was one of those kids that everybody that he came in contact with, he touched them, and he made an impact on their lives, whether it was a short time or a long time that he was with them. I mean, we had at the memorial here at the field last night, Fullerton's baseball team came out, as well as Chafee's baseball team.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
And the coach from Chafee reached out to Nate after they heard the news, and he said, that he had to share a story that his first baseman had a conversation with Sladen, and he remembered it so vividly, and he was just so moved by the conversation that he had with Sladen during a game.
Wow.
That he felt that he needed to be at this memorial, and he wanted the team to be there with him, and the whole team rallied around him and agreed. I mean, that Sladen was that kind of guy. I mean, just a conversation in passing during a baseball game when Sladen got on first base after an at-bat, was talking to the first baseman, and made such an impact that whole team then came to the memorial for him. It's just kind of in a nutshell, the type of person that Sladen was, and we're very, very fortunate to have him be a part of this program and this family.
Yeah, without a doubt, it was definitely a pleasure being able to broadcast his last few baseball games, pardon me. No balls and 1 strike. That is Saeed Abdallah at the plate. And it's really tough to elaborate on the players here for LA Harbor College because their website is not updated at all whatsoever. Because the number 18, Saeed Abdallah, appears as Johnny Lopez, and that's clearly not him. There's an Abdallah on the team, but this guy's name is Alec Abdallah, so perhaps he has a relative on the squad. But actually, now that I even try to click on these players and their names, there's not any further information. So whatever is out here is what you'll get. The name, the position, the year, height, and weight, and also the high school. Nothing extensive, and I'm just letting you know beforehand, so you don't expect more. That is chopped towards the right side. Spencer Long throws over to first. Spencer Palmer covering.
Yeah, it's unfortunate when you get a roster that's not, complete and missing a bunch of information, because hard to keep the viewers and the listeners up to date with kind of the information that helps to give them a picture of what's going on in the action. But at least we have some names and some high schools. We'll try and do our best to get through this one.
I know, right? I was really interested to see where Saeed Abdallah was from. That was a last name that's not too commonly associated with the game of baseball. So I was interested to learn more of his culture, as that has popped up towards the right side. Spencer Palmer in foul territory, hugging the line, makes the play, and the inning is over. We remain scoreless. The game's going along fairly quickly. One hit apiece for each team. And yeah, in regards to Sladen, I wasn't able to share much dialogue with him, but he just had such a simple demeanor to himself. You would take a look at him, and he was just a simple guy. He had somewhat of a gentleness to him. Hard to describe, but it's just taking a look at him. You just knew that he was there for no trouble, and he was to himself. He was reserved, and he just had the desire to play baseball and make other people happy.
Yeah, and that's we like I said, in the past few days we've heard a bunch of stories and just about him, and you're exactly right. That's what kind of the common theme was. He was kind of there to serve others, really, and to do what he could to make others feel better. And he's one of his roommates shared a touching story about he was going through a hard time and wasn't really talking to anybody, kind of just keeping to himself, and Sladen just noticed it. He just had a feeling, and he came up and gave his roommate a hug and said, "Hey man, what's going on? Let's talk." And that's all it took, and it really helped his roommate get through a tough time. And that's just the kind of guy that Sladen was. He just was always looking out for others, always just so caring and so gentle. So definitely gonna be missed, but just the legacy he leaves behind of just such a tremendous young man.
I was told that when his mother was flying in, she asked that Sladen's locker be kept untouched because she wanted to go ahead and, witness this for what it was prior to the passing of her son. And by the looks of it, I saw head coach Nick Friendly hand out some jerseys to the family before the ball game, so I reckon those were Sladen's that they're going to be allowed to keep for the remainder.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and you're right. She, the mother, God bless her. She has been so strong through this entire process, and it's really, I admire her and her strength getting through this. But yeah, you're right. She wanted to see things how he had them. She wanted to kind of get a glimpse of how he lived and how he was out here.
Let's flow now towards left center field. The left fielder running out of room will play this one off the wall. On his way towards second with a stand-up double, Matthew Becerra. Brendan Casillas zigs in behind the plate today for El Camino.
And real quick, another thing, just kind of mentioning that she wanted to see his locker, how he left it, and how he kept it. After going through all of his stuff and having, really touching moment, her and Sladen's sister, they kind of got to see things how they were, and a lot of the stuff they took and wanted to take home and kind of keep to remember him, but but she did mention to us that she wanted nothing to do with his pine tar rag that he had left in his locker. For those of you that don't know, pine tar is a very sticky, very odorous substance, quite strong smell, a pungent smell. So, the batters put it on the bats to make sure that it doesn't slip out of their hands. And Sladen had made one out of some tape and a towel, kept it in his locker, and she got one smell of that and decided she did not need to keep that. That was pretty funny.
For sure, man. It's just heartbreaking nonetheless. It was so unexpected. I personally was expecting to be out here on Friday broadcasting a game, and I got a text message from my cousin who was to attend the game with me, because I had called him actually beforehand, and I told him, hey, you want to come to the game, because it was his day off, and he was like, yeah, let's go. Then he texted me later, and he told me, hey, the game is canceled. I wasn't too sure why until you gave me a call, Jeff, and everything seemed to be, normal to an extent, but then when you kind of explained the reason why, in that line, where you mentioned, I don't know if you know why, you said it in this kind of way, and I reckon that something wrong had happened. Something had gone wrong. And at that point, like when you mentioned that, it was more so just, who, not necessarily what. And, it was definitely devastating for sure.
Yeah, just
rough weekend.
Yeah, just tough to hear. It's almost one of those things, you hear something like that, and, you're just kind of in a state of disbelief. Maybe it's because you don't want to believe it. Maybe it's because it's just so shocking. But, it's just kind of hard, a tough pill to swallow for sure. But
is this the first time that the athletic program has dealt with anything like this?
It's the first time that in my memory that we've dealt with something like this with a current player. We have had, and actually fairly recently, we've had a couple players that have moved on, had moved on to a four-year school and kind of jobs and kind of moved on with their life after El Camino that had passed away. That was tough as well. But as far as current players, this is the first of my knowledge. I do want to say I would be remiss to say or to not mention just how tremendous of a job that the El Camino College family has done, kind of banding together during this time. Support from everyone, from the president of our college, Dr. Dina Maloney, to the VPs, to the all the faculty and the other departments across campus, our facilities department, our police department as well. Just the coaching staff, everyone here at El Camino College has done such a wonderful job of coming together, and uniting for this cause, and kind of just to honor Sladen's name in the baseball program. So just a tremendous showing of support from everyone across campus, and we really can't say thank you enough to everybody that's extended their support and kind words to us.
2 balls and 1 strike here to Taishi Nakawake. Becerra leads off a second. He opened up the inning with a double. Alvarez gets the sign, delivers a pitch. That one is fouled back. 2 balls and 2 strikes, and Zach Finley was perhaps closest to Sladen out of all the other players. So I can only imagine how heavy this is on his heart.
Yeah, he spoke yesterday at the memorial and just did a fantastic job. I'm just so proud of him and the other 3 baseball players that were able to stand up and speak to the crowd yesterday. But Finley mentioned that he was very close with Slade, and they spent a lot of time together.
Ground ball towards third. The third baseman holds a runner, throws across the diamond, 2 men down.
You know, and back to what I was saying, I'm sure I've missed somebody, you know, and certain staff members that have gone above and beyond. So I do apologize if I miss anybody in particular, but you know, I can't emphasize enough that it's been everybody, you know, from our equipment staff to, you know, our director of events, Bridget Delahunt, to you know, Nate and his family. I mean, just everybody that's been involved, and you know, I don't have time to name everybody. I'm sure I'm forgetting people, but just everybody across campus during this time has really stepped up and shown their support, and it just means the world to, you know, not only us but Sladen's family as well.
Yeah. And it's most difficult to cope with it, especially in the middle of the season, you know, because you're so caught up in the game of baseball, and then when something hits you like this, all of a sudden you have to balance out, you know, the importance of the season with honoring, you know, the life of another individual. So, you know, all due respect also to head coach Nate Friendly, because at the end of the day, as there's a goose out in shallow center field, and he's holding his ground. He's not moving whatsoever. We saw the two middle infielders trying to shoo him away, but he said, "This is my grass." Oh, here's Jimmy Galicia. Look at Jimmy. Ah.
It's Jimmy.
Yeah. Who else? So let's see. Let's see how long Jimmy can last. Oh, look at the goose. He's coming at Jimmy. Oh, okay, but now he's showing some respect to him. I think he wants to get pet by Jimmy, perhaps. Jimmy trying to chase him off the field. Stretching out his hand. Now he's flying out towards left field. The goose looking to take a little bit of a of a hop there to pluck something out of the grass. You saw Jimmy trying to land the right hand. Oh, look at Jimmy acting as if he'll actually grab him. Who knows if he would? And Jeff, you probably know better than I do if this animal is capable of running. You see the left fielder, he has nothing to do with this bird in particular. And Jimmy's continuing to chase him around. Now it's become somewhat of a spectacle because you have everyone in the crowd as well as the dugout being, you know, firmly entertained by this. And you saw the goose spread out the wings now. So at this point, there's just nothing you can do. You have the second base umpire, I believe, holding out a timer perhaps. Oh, and here we go. Now we're throwing a rake out there, and we promise you that no animals will be harmed. And would you look at that? We have someone also from LA Harbor College coming out into left field. There are two Warrior players, one being Jimmy Galicia. The other one is number 14. He's holding a rake out, trying to shoo him off the field. He's down the line, the goose spreading the wings, but he refused to step out of play. And here comes LA Harbor College. Oh, and there we go. The goose is spreading the wings. But he's out towards center field. Oh, and he's over the right field fence, and you can say bye to that one in 3 different languages. Sayonara, aloha, and adios. Wow. Perhaps one of the greatest things I've ever seen on this field.
You know, and you just got to think about Sladen would have got a kick out of that, don't you think? I mean, that goose was out here just having his way with this field.
That was remarkable. I don't think I will ever in my life provide another play-by-play of a goose out in the outfield as extensively as I just did.
That is too funny.
That was remarkable. I was waiting to see if this thing could fly, and it sure can. I mean, wow. That was awesome. I'll tell you, the only people who didn't enjoy that were the umpires for sure.
That's true. They were waiting for this game to get back going. It's good though. Good little break and kind of lighten things up a little bit. Get some energy in here. Get some people laughing. So it's always good to see the goose around here.
1-0 pitch is ripped out towards center field. The center fielder with a diving grab makes the play, and the inning is over. We head to the bottom half of the 3rd inning, or to the top half of the 4th, actually. We remain scoreless. once again, for those of you who would like to help out with the cost of Sladen's passing, you can go ahead and check out the @Elka Twitter as Matthew Becerra makes a diving stop. The throw gets away from Spencer Palmer. But yes, you can check out the @Elko Baseball Twitter. They have a post where the link is integrated into, so you can go ahead and check that out if you'd like to donate to the family and support with the cost.
Yeah, and anything that you can do to help it just would mean the world to the family. They appreciate all the help that they can get, and obviously going through a situation like this, the last thing you want to have to do is worry about money and being able to afford certain things, for the passing of your son. So, all the help that we can give them is appreciated, and we'll try and continue to do what we can.
That was Eric Alamillo opening up the inning for the Warriors. I figured that the last play would be scored a hit rather than an error, and sure enough, J.J. Duarte digs in now.
Yeah, really a heck of an effort there by Becerra. Nice diving, sliding stop. Got up, tried to make a quick throw, and unfortunately a bit off the mark. But, heck of an effort. And fortunately held him to a single anyway, so hit on the board. And we'll see if Orozco can get a ground ball here from Duarte at the plate.
And here's something you may get a kick out of. The Warriors have a chance, because the Vikings and the Tartars are all tied up at 3. Long Beach had a 3-0 lead going into the top half of the second inning. Now they're all tied up at 3 against Compton.
Yeah, and see, that's what I mentioned earlier. They're one of those teams that they can sneak up on you, and they can sneak a win away from teams that come in a little bit too lackadaisical and not with the focus that they need. So we'll see. Hopefully Compton can pull one out for us here. We're rooting for. We're big Tartar fans this week.
And what's funny? There was one broadcast in particular where I believe the audio wasn't working. Brendan Casillas does a nice job of keeping the ball in front of him. And I remember, I feel like it was Brazil who came up to me and said that we had a viewer from Alaska who wasn't able to watch the game. And I always wondered, who's watching us from Alaska? And, of course, learning now that it was probably Sladen's mother or someone else associated with the family.
Yeah, and that's one of the beautiful things that, Colin Preston has been able to do here as the athletic director. Live streaming these events just to give families the opportunity to watch their sons and daughters compete in their sport. When otherwise they may not be able to. That's just it kind of it refreshes in your mind why we do this stuff, and just kind of how important of an impact we're having here with little things like this that we can do to help out our student athletes and their families. So we're happy that we were able to provide that for the family, and hopefully they got to watch Sladen a bunch.
The 2-2 pitch drops below the knees. Count is 4, 3 balls and 2 strikes. It is J.J. Duarte. Jake McKenna awaits on deck. Eric Alamillo leads off at second base. Aaron Orozco gets the sign from Casillas, looks towards second, delivers the 3-2, fouled away towards the right side. Count remains full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. No men down in the inning. Alamillo opened up this top half of the fourth with, I guess, what you would call an infield single. It was a ground ball towards the left side. Becerra made a diving stop as that is fouled towards the right side. Spencer Palmer runs out of room. Matthew Becerra then stood up, made a throw, but Palmer was not able to keep it in front of him. Two hits, no runs for both teams. And we'll keep you updated as the game goes on for Long Beach and Compton. And I just hit the refresh button, and guess what? Long Beach is out in front 6-3 now, so they've doubled up their lead. Spencer Palmer had another chance at that one, and that one was also hugging the fence.
And let's hope those, looked like Palmer really had a decent shot at making that play. You know, ball kind of came down in the field of play, so you know, kind of concerning that that play wasn't made. And well, hopefully that doesn't come back to bite the Warriors. You know, it was the second fly ball that looked like a play could have been made on over there.
Here's the 3-2 pitch from Orozco. That's towards the right side. Palmer was looking to make a play on that one. Instead, Spencer Long backhands it, shovels it towards Palmer, who then went to cover the bag for the first out of the inning. Fortunately for El Camino, Alamillo on second was unable to advance.
And really just a tremendous job there by Orozco. I mean, 3 pitches, just getting in on the hands of the batter there, not giving him any chance to extend and drive a ball. You know, weak contact, 3 fly balls down the first base line, and Long able to connect with Palmer on that one to secure the out.
There goes the runner, but it was more so a bluff. Here's the 0-1. Pitcher's in there for a strike. You know, it's funny how you mentioned that, I believe, was it Fullerton College who had their first baseman, right?
Chafee.
Chafee College, who their first baseman had a conversation with Sladen, and a quote integrated into one of these articles here from KTUU.com. Head coach Nate Friendly said, many times Sladen would get to first base and we would wait to give a sign. And that was because Sladen was talking to the first baseman. Not just a, hey, good job, but he was seriously talking to the first baseman. That's wonderful, man.
Yeah, and that was just his nature. He just was so kind-hearted, so loving. You know, he would just talk to anybody that was around, you know, just kind of hoping to brighten their day a little bit by sharing a conversation with them. And that was just the kind of young man that he was, and that's how we'll remember him here as a Warrior. And, you know, we have the saying, once a Warrior, always a Warrior, and that will hold true. And, you know, forever, Sladen will be a Warrior in our hearts and in our minds.
Pitch is in there for strike 3. One of his teammates over from South High in Alaska said he was the guy we all went to when times were tough. Our friend group was defined by his character. It's 1 ball and no strikes here to Angel Garcia. Still no score. We're in the top half of the 4th. I was confused because the Warriors scoreboard is not updated in regards to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Thought we may have still been in the 3rd, but we are not.
Yeah, I wonder, hopefully we're not having any technical difficulties. Hope that's just a little bit of an oversight there by the staff in the booth. But definitely the top of the 4th here. Well, a good breaking pitch there by Orozco to get ahead. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 outs here in the inning. Orozco looking to put him away.
Aaron Orozco has 1, 2, 3 strikeouts on the afternoon. Looking towards Casillas for number 3. Ahead in the count at 1-2, the right-hander delivers fastball. taken for a ball, 2-2. And we spoke to Aaron Orozco during a post-game interview earlier this season, where he mentioned that head coach Nate Furley calls to the fastball with 2 strikes because he understands how potent it is off the arm of Aaron Orozco. His accuracy is wonderful, and he's definitely got some velocity as the pitch is down below the knees, 3-2. Count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Another full count here for Orozco. Delivers a pitch breaking ball that stays up high, taken for ball 4. Thought maybe the home plate umpire would be motivated to pull the trigger, just more so because the runner took off immediately after the pitch. And I know that for some home plate umpires, that doesn't sit too well with them.
Never mind, Kyle. We had a photographer on the field down the right field line that came out. Thanks.
No balls, no strikes, 2 men down. Side of the at-bat here. Here comes the pitch. Want to know the count? Orozco looks towards second. Has runners on first and second as the pitch misses for a ball. It's now 2-0. Two balls and 1 strike. Orozco delivers the 2-1. Hitting there for a strike, count even at 2-2. Two and two. Line down towards left center field. Joseph Borges was playing shallow. He takes the turn. On his way home is Eric Alamillo. I felt like his third base coach wanted to hold him. But Alamillo ran through the stop sign.
Yeah, that was interesting. I kind of thought I caught the same thing that you were saying. I was trying to film it, but it did seem like the third base coach changed his mind and wanted him to hold up, but kept running right through it.
And I mentioned Compton College wanting to play spoiler for the Vikings. LA Harbor's looking to do the same thing, but for the Warriors.
Yeah, and this is one of those series that Harbor looks forward to every year. It seems like this is kind of the pinnacle of their season is playing El Camino and trying to play spoiler. So we'll see if the Warriors can kind of step up and make things happen here and take care of business in these last 3 games of conference.
1-1 is a check swing, and he did go, says the home plate umpire. And there for strike 3. We head to the bottom half of the 4th inning. El Camino trailing by 1. first baseman Spencer Palmer leads things off for El Camino here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. They are trailing by a run. LA Harbor College and the Warriors squaring off in game number 1 of a 3-game series. Pitch misses for a ball. It's 1-0. Not much offensively from El Camino for sure. Only 2 guys in their lineups have hits. That is Spencer Long and Matthew Becerra, along with the single. Becerra with the double. Spencer Palmer flew out towards right center field his first time up. Pitch misses for a ball. It's 2-0. One and nothing ball game in favor of the Seahawks. They took the lead in the top half of the fourth inning. Pitch misses. Palmer ahead in the count at 3 balls and no strikes. And though being the hottest hitter on the team, the best hitter on the team all around with a .361 batting average, Spencer Palmer is wise enough to hold up on a 3-0 count without a doubt. Sure enough, he does. He takes a strike. It's 3-1. That's one of the things you've really got to appreciate from Spencer. He is not selfish. He is willing. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. But you shouldn't be surprised if he lets go of the hands here with something down the middle. That one's called strike 2. And that time he tossed the bat, so home plate umpire probably didn't take too kindly to such action.
Yeah, probably not thrilled, but Palmer's got a great sense of the zone. He's got a great eye, so for him to do
if Palmer says it's a ball, it's a ball.
That's what I'm saying.
Here's the 3-2 pitch. That's laced towards the right side, but out of play.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, I think Palmer's, for as good as he is and as hot of a hitter as he is, he's always understood the game and understood that, taking a walk at times is just as good as hitting one in a gap somewhere. So, he's definitely an intelligent hitter. He thinks through his at-bats a lot. And just always good to see him up there. You're going to get a quality at-bat when he steps into the plate.
That's one thing for sure. Quality at-bat without a doubt. Of course, you can't always guarantee a hit. It's a game of baseball. Failure, dominates the game. But nonetheless, quality at bat, expected all the time. 3-2 is popped up foul towards the left side. They say that baseball is the only game where you can fail 3 out of 10 times, but still be considered good.
Great. I mean, if you're hitting 300, you are great. That's that's the first time I've heard it put that way. But failure dominates this game. That is a very accurate description.
That's a ground ball, and it goes up the middle for a base hit. And something I just took note of, I don't know if you saw that as well, Jeff, as Palmer was running down the line. LA Harbor College has the number 18 jersey hanging on the railing of their dugout. So all due respect to them, and we truly appreciate the gesture.
Yeah, it's always good to see, some sportsmanship between teams, even when it is a game with a lot of emotion and playoff implications, but just to see, kind of them appreciate what we are going through as a program and to kind of, join in our fight for that. It's that's nice to see.
Yeah, that's wow. I'm really moved by that. But it just fell away.
Yeah, and speaking of supporting us during this time, I forgot to mention the incredible support we've got from our other programs on campus. Our other athletic programs at the Memorial. We had, representatives from, almost every team here, yesterday. And, again, we see the women's beach volleyball team here. A couple softball players probably going to make their way over after their game today. They're at Cerritos playing. A couple football players look like they're standing around. So just the support from our whole athletics community kind of coming together, during this time to support each other is really, really moving to see.
No balls and 2 strikes to count here to Joseph Borges. The right-hander delivers. Misses. It's 1-2 now. Jeff, I don't know if there's been any talks or if you know of perhaps about the future of number 18 here for the Warriors. Will that number be continued to be an option for other players, or will that number be retired?
Yeah, I have not had a chance to.
Ground ball towards second. Taylor made for 2. 4-6-3.
I haven't had a chance to talk with Nate or Colin about that, that specific topic. But yeah, I would imagine that, we'll do something to take care of the number 18 and as well as Sladen's family. I would venture to say that number probably won't be worn, for a period of time. It's just one of those things you hate to think about, but I'm sure we'll do something, the best thing that we can do for his family.
Snowballs and 1 strikes. So just out of curiosity, after the season, are the guys allowed to keep their jerseys, or do they have to give them back?
No, so yeah, unfortunately, we being a 2-year college, we don't have the budget to get new uniforms every year. So it is something that we issue the guys all their uniforms, jerseys and pants for the season, and then at the end of the season, we get those jerseys, uniforms back, and we wash them all, get them treated, and then put them away in storage until next season. So that's kind of how it goes on a normal basis. But I'm sure this situation's a bit different with Sladen, so kind of we'll see what we have, what we're able to do in that regard.
And the jerseys in particular, do the players get to pick their numbers, or are they assigned the numbers?
Yeah, so it's kind of a process of, it's a little bit of both, actually. They go through and they get their pick of numbers, but sometimes guys want the same number. Like, the number 3 is usually a pretty highly wanted number, and there's certain numbers that are sought after more than others. So once it gets past that, each guy kind of gives their number 1, 2, and 3 choices for numbers, and then if nothing is available after that, you have to pick from what's left over. We try and give them as much freedom to pick their numbers as we can.
Yeah, because I was wondering, like, what if they ask for a certain number and you guys don't have their size in the jersey?
Well, that's a good point. It's either, you play with the jersey that's 2 or 3 sizes too big or too small, or you choose a different number. It's kind of just how it works, unfortunately. I will tell you, though, most of the time the guys just take the jersey regardless of size.
Ty Conrad digs in now. He grounded out towards shortstop in the 2nd inning. As I said, El Camino has done absolutely nothing offensively. Pitch is in there for a ball, 1-0. Ball and no strikes here to Ty Conrad. Spencer Long leads off at first. Spencer Palmer had opened up the inning with a single. Joseph Borges then grounded into a double play. Ball and no strikes. Here comes the pitch. That's lined out towards right center field. And the center fielder does a lovely job keeping the ball in front of him. It was the diving attempt, but he trapped it. Nonetheless, had he not gotten to it, that would have been a scoring double at the very least for Ty Conrad.
Yeah, just a really well-hit ball there by Conrad, and a very risky play there by the center fielder. Fortunately for him and the Seahawks, he was able to glove that and not let it get by him, but that really could have been a lot of trouble there for Harbor if that ball would have got by. And this would be huge for the Warriors to score here after after Harbor puts up that one in the fourth to answer back right away. This would be huge for the Warriors if they could even this score or even possibly take the lead here.
You can tell based on their record that LA Harbor is not the team that poses the most amount of threat. Nonetheless, this is sure to be their number one guy on the mound, Arturo Alvarez. He has a 6-2 record this season, so I reckon that after him, perhaps the pitching staff and their quality goes down quite a bit. So if El Camino can get to this guy and take the W today, things should surely be looking up as we close out the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you said it well, Jonathan. I think all that starts right here, right now. This at bat here with Orozco.
Runners on the corners for El Camino. The right-hander delivers on the outer half. 1-1. One ball and one strike. Alvarez throws over to first. Not in time. LA Harbor College with a very aggressive style of play defensively. We saw Spencer Long get thrown out from right field. The throw came behind him, and the catcher, who was covering the bag at first base after the single towards left, applied the tag in time. So look to them to develop some sneaky plays, trying to steal some outs away here from the Warriors. It's 1 ball and 1 strike to Aaron Orozco. Pitch is at the knees, called strike 2, 1-2. And Aaron Orozco, we saw one time earlier this season when he gives up a run, he'll do all he can at the plate to get it right back. So do not be surprised if he goes deep this at bat, or at least find some outfield grass to bring in a run.
Yeah, he's one of those gamers. He's just hates to lose, hates to give up runs, and so him having a chance to get a run back for his team, we'll see if he can capitalize.
1-2 on the outer half. It's even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jeff, do we have any updates in regards to the scheduling for the playoffs next week? Will we be hosting? Will we be not?
All that's going to happen, after the season concludes, once all the rankings and all the numbers are input and are finalized, and when there's no question if there's going to be some movement or not. So we'll know all of that.
2-2 pitch. Backwards K for strike 3. Well, we head to the top half of the 5th. 1-0 in favor of LA Harbor. Saeed Abdallah leads things off here in the top half of the fifth inning for LA Harbor College. They lead 1-0.
And a good game so far. I mean, both teams have pitched well. I mean, 7 hits, through 4 complete innings between both teams. 1 run, no errors, so good defense being shown here by both teams. Yeah, just a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel so far. And unfortunately, Harbor's got a step up on the Warriors right now with the 1-0 lead.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. In there for strike 3, throw it around the horn, Brendan Casillas. That was kind of tough there because I was so accustomed to say throw it around the horn, Sladen Mohl.
I was just thinking the same thing. I was so used to hearing that call from you. Throw it around the horn, Sladen Mohl. It's something we're going to miss saying, that's for sure.
Yeah. No balls and 1 strike, 1 man down.
And for all of you out there that are tuning in right now to listen and watch our broadcast, we want to say thank you. We appreciate the support and you guys following along with our program. We're trying to do our best to honor Sladen's memory and kind of celebrate his life and the impact that he had on our program on this broadcast. So
Ty Conrad makes the play out in left field in foul territory.
It's a tragic and senseless thing that happened, but we are just trying to do our best to celebrate the great memories that we have of Sladen, the young man that impacted so many of our lives in such a short time. Again, there's a GoFundMe set up in his name, the Sladen Mohl Memorial Fund on GoFundMe. Jonathan mentioned earlier in the broadcast that is linked to the ECC Baseball Twitter. It's a pinned tweet for them right now. So if you could go over and just kind of show your support to the family, it is always appreciated.
Here's the 0-2. That drops below the knees and misses. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Orozco delivers the 1-2. Strike 3 called. You got to appreciate this home plate umpire's strike 3 motion. Instead of just kind of holding his hands out fly, he kind of uppercuts the air. So that's quite interesting. We head to the bottom half of the 5th. Score remains 1-0. Matthew Becerra digs in here in the bottom half of the fifth inning for El Camino. 1-0 ball game. Becerra has one of the 4 hits in the lineup today for El Camino. He had a double that split the left center field gap. The right-hander looks down the barrel to get a sign. In there for a strike. It's 0-1. The 1-1 misses. 2 balls and 1 strike. Alvarez delivers. 2-1, flown out towards left field in foul territory. The left fielder has the ball hit off his glove. Had the play, he was there, just couldn't sustain it.
And Becerra fortunate there. That ball was off the glove. That play should have been made. An error there. I don't know, it won't go in the books as an error, I don't think, but that was an error nonetheless.
For sure, without a doubt.
Let's see if Becerra can capitalize on that now. He gets another life. Hopefully this will be he can capitalize on getting this extra chance here and put a ball in the gap somewhere.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Matthew Becerra. Pitch drops below the knees for a ball. Here's the 3-2 pitch from Becerra. Line towards the left field line. It's a fair ball. The left fielder cuts it off. Becerra takes the turn, but he'll hold at first. So Becerra with 2 hits today. Single line, a double. Brendan Casillas 6 in.
Sure enough, Becerra capitalizes on the opportunity at another shot at the plate. Drives a ball down the left field line. Leadoff man on for the Warriors here. We'll see if they can keep this train rolling with Casillas at the plate.
It'll be Casillas and Taishi Nakawake. Becerra opening up the inning with a single towards left. The bunt is shown late towards the right side and out of play. No balls and 1 strike. The 0-1, ball laid towards the left field line, but foul. Alvarez takes a peek towards first. Becerra not a threat to 1. The 0-2 high fastball. You mentioned, Jeff, it's been a pretty good ball game thus far. It's been a pitching matchup for sure. So Aaron Orozco was the first one to give in, allowing 1 run. Taking a look at LBCC versus Compton College. They have a hefty 9-3 lead in the bottom half of the 5th inning over the Tartars. The 1-2 pitch is fouled away. That's towards the left side. The shortstop steps on the back for one on the first unassisted double play. Well, it's not unassisted. It was 6-3, but instead of 6-4-3.
And that's what happens when you can't get a bunt down. You can't execute what you're trying to do offensively. And you get yourself into a position like that, and unfortunately it rolls right into a double play there. Warriors now facing 2 outs, and Taishi at the plate.
Pitch drops below the knees. It's 1-0. Here's the pitch. That's hit out towards left field. The left fielder at the track in front of the fence. That one hits off the base of the wall. Taishi Nakawake is on his way towards third. He took a stumble halfway in between, so he'll hold at second instead.
I'm not sure if he stumbled or did he just stop and decide to go back to second, because I think he could have been into third base easily.
I did as well. I'm sure he stumbled.
And that's unfortunate. The Warriors would have loved to have a runner on third here with 2 outs.
But with his speed, we can assure you that if something finds the outfield grass, he should definitely be allowed to score. Well, you're right, Jeff. When you have a runner on third base, there are endless ways to catch him in. When he's on second, you're looking more so for a base hit. Logan Young digs in now. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of flyouts. Nakawake leads off for second. He had a 2-out double, which should have been a triple. The right-hander delivers. It drops below the knees. It's 1-0.
We'll see Logan Young here. Got a pretty good average here for the Warriors, so let's see if he can get a base knock. And like you said, with Taishi's speed, it should be no problem scoring on a base hit. So we'll see if they can put one together.
So the pitching coach out to have a talk with his pitcher on the mound. That is once again Arturo Alvarez for LA Harbor College. See how long the home plate umpire allows this to last. Pardon me. Now he's walking towards mound. He takes off his mask. We'll have to play some ball. What does the home plate umpire tell them when he walks out there, Jeff?
Normally, I was just thinking about that, actually. It's funny you brought it up. Normally, the home plate umpire won't even say anything. It just, once he gets out there, coach knows that it's time to start wrapping it up and get off the field. So they normally don't have to say anything, but if they do get over there, it's normally just something, along the lines of, all right, guys, let's move the game along. Let's go, kind of just a little pat on the butt to get things moving a little bit.
Remember, there was this game where the third base coach for the Warriors, Mr. Palmer here, called time to speak to his base runners. I had never seen that before. I remember I was taken off guard that day. That is fouled away. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Because having a meeting with 3 of your base runners is far more extensive than having a meeting just with your pitcher on the mound. So I remember that particularly.
Yeah, sometimes it's not something you see often, but every once in a while you'll see that, and just to make sure everyone's on the same page and what you're trying to execute offensively. So Grant Palmer does a great job with the offense here, running third base. Duarte over there at first base does a great job with the base runners as well. So
the 1-1 is thrown over to second base. Taishi Nakawake is there standing. Pitch gets away from the backstop, and the catcher, J.J. Duarte, had no idea where the ball was. Instead of looking for it, he simply put his hands in the air.
See, and that's exactly what we were talking about, Jonathan. If Taishi had been on third base, that pitch gets away. It's a tie ball game right now, 1-1. Unfortunately, Taishi not able to make it. Looked like he stumbled rounding second base, but hopefully, that won't matter, and Young can capitalize. Just poke a base hit through a hole right now.
Two balls and two strikes. The count to Logan Young. The right-hander delivers. Time is called. Pitch misses. It's full 3-2. The pitch off speed on the other half. Cut looking for strike three. And I'll tell you one thing, Jeff. LA Harbor is playing with their hearts on their shoulder. They want this win real bad. A lot of passion, a lot of drive, a lot of energy coming from their dugout. The Warriors got to get it together before it's too late. Eric Alvia digs in now for the Seahawks in the top half of the sixth inning. Pitches below the knees for a ball. It's 1-0. It'll be Alamillo, J.J. Duarte, and Jake McKenna. It's now 2 balls and no strikes. It's now 2-1. Popped up towards the right side. Spencer Palmer waved off by Spencer Long, who makes the play in the center of the diamond for the first out.
Good job there. Roscoe got it behind 2-0 and found his way back, and now got the first out of the inning, which is always huge. So Good to see that. Orozco battling, competing up there. He's got to be fired up, being down 1-0 right now.
One ball and no strikes. It's one ball and one strike. Pitch runs inside for a ball, 2-1. Here comes a pitch from Orozco. Fastball at the knees, taken for a ball. It's a 1-0 ball game here in the 6th inning. Strike two. Strike three. Throw it around the horn, Brendan Casillas. Popped up towards the right side. Spencer Long in the outskirts of the grass in front of Logan Young makes the play, and the inning is over. To the bottom of the 6th inning we go. Score remains 1-0 in favor of LA Harbor. Well, if there's someone to get it started, it's this gentleman at the plate, Spencer Palmer. See Jimmy Galicia with the bat getting loose in the bullpen. It's a righty on lefty matchup. Should favor Palmer at the plate. Arturo Alvarez remains on the mound. That's laced towards the right side, but foul. It's no balls and one strike. The right-hander delivers. Popped up towards the left side. The left fielder in fair territory, has it bounce off his glove, and Spencer Palmer is aboard at second, reaching on an error. Yeah, the left fielder, Saeed Abala, is not having a good day whatsoever.
Yeah, that was unfortunate there. And the last couple times that's happened, he's been fortunate. The ball's been in foul territory, so it didn't really hurt the Harbor team. But this time, that ball drops in fair territory, and it's a lead-off double for the Warriors. Just what the doctor ordered, with Borges coming up to the plate.
Borges, the second best hitter in the ball club, looking to cash in Spencer Palmer, who was aboard at second base. Hit towards the left side, the shortstop makes the play.
Not what you want there from an at-bat in that situation. Just an unproductive out there. Pop fly to the shortstop. Doesn't move over the runner at all. Just not a very quality at-bat, unfortunately. But you got Spencer Long coming up.
It's been one of the more reliable hitters in the lineup for the Warriors with runners in scoring position. Spencer Long has 24 RBIs. And I was actually waiting because many times after a frustrating out like that, the Warrior players come behind the dugout and slam their helmet, or they let out some kind of emotion. But Joseph Borges is very reserved. He's good at containing all the thoughts and emotions that go through his head, especially with a frustrating at bat like that.
Yeah, we'll see if he can. Baseball is a long game. It's a game of short memory, like you said, and we just got to be able to flush it, move on to the next pitch, next at bat, next play. It's like so we got a very good hitter in Spencer Long at the dish. Spencer Palmer in scoring position at second base. So Warriors in a good position here.
Could just fouled away. It's no balls and 2 strikes now to Long. No movement in either bullpen, so both of these starting pitchers have been very efficient on the mound. The 0-2. Swung on and missed for strike 3. Ty Conrad digs in now. Palmer leads off a second. Conrad at the plate. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch misses. It's 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Time is called by the home plate umpire. That's hit towards left center field. The center fielder makes the play, and the inning is over. To the last three innings we go, 7, 8, and 9. It's 1-0 in favor of LA Harbor. We open things up in the top half of the seventh inning. Angel Garcia, the number 5 hitter at the plate. For LA Harbor, Aaron Orozco remains on the mound for the Warriors. We see a right-hander getting loose and warm in the Harbor bullpen. The Warrior bullpen still very quiet. The 1-1 pitch is a ground ball towards the left side, cut off by Matthew Becerra. I was looking towards Taishi Nakawake to see if he had the ball, but Becerra said, "Excuse me, that one's mine." He throws over the first, one away.
And a good play there by Becerra. Took charge, saw he could get to that ball. Cut it off before it got to Taishi. Made a good strong throw over to first base.
Isaiah Bumgarner digs in now, and he flies this one out towards right center field. Joseph Borges is there. Takes a few steps in towards his left. 2-man down. That'll bring up Danny Villarreal. He grounded out in the second and struck out looking in the fourth.
Looks like we might have a pinch hitter.
Number 22, Andrew Garcia, comes in to replace Danny Villarreal. So let's see what Garcia can do with 2 men down in the inning. No runners on. Quick 2 outs made here by Aaron Orozco. Has had a spectacular performance on the mound. Him and his counterpart Arturo Alvarez for Harbor College. Fortunately, though, for Aaron Orozco, if he's got to turn over the game to his bullpen, he's in pretty good hands. But for LA Harbor, once they resort to their bullpen, things can possibly get ugly. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the pitch to Garcia. Chopper towards the left side. Becerra, barehanded grab, throw to first, in time to get him. To the bottom of the 7th we go. Becerra is having a heck of a game. It's time for Sweet Caroline out at Warrior Field. So at the break, I said it was time for Sweet Caroline, but we did a little something more special this time around. We played Sladen Mohl's walk-up song, and you can very well remember it, especially if you heard it, Careless Whisper. And who was to know that that song in particular really resembled who Sladen was? A good, mellow guy with a lot of heart.
Yeah, and he had a couple of his teammates. I think it was Draves that stood up yesterday and talked a little bit about Sladen and mentioned his walk-up song.
It's flown out towards right field in front of the scoreboard. The right fielder makes the play one man down.
And how Sladen just thought that song was so hilarious to walk up to that song playing in the background, that every at-bat he'd walk up there with a smile on his face or laughing to himself that song was playing here at the ballpark.
Man, that's remarkable, man. That's adorable for sure, man.
Just an awesome kid.
Yeah.
Just an awesome.
I never thought about
kid.
that. I never thought about that being his reason why, just to keep it loose and fun, man.
Yeah.
Just a pure, wholehearted kid, man.
Absolutely.
For sure. Snowballs and one strike here to Matthew Becerra.
And if you are just tuning in, before the game, we did have a first pitch thrown out.
That's hit over the left field fence, but well fouled. Becerra all over that one.
Yeah, we had before the game we had Sladen's family members throwing the first pitch out and also receiving it at home plate. So the two of them got to share a moment. We had a moment of silence before the game in Sladen's honor, and we are kind of paying our tribute once again to Sladen Mohl, our catcher who tragically had his life taken from him at the age of 19 years old. But doing what we can to play in his honor and his memory today and for the rest of the season, as hopefully the Warriors make a very long playoff run.
And it breaks my heart, because Sladen was a kid with much ambition, desire to grow in life and to pursue his dreams, and that was taken away from him because of the ignorance of another human being.
Yeah, it's just a tragic situation. Like you said, a kid with just so much ambition, so much drive, and really so much life left, but unfortunately cut short. But we're here and we're trying to band together and focus on the good and celebrate the good that Sladen was, and try and live in a way that would honor his memory.
One thing that provides a lot of comfort to me is the fact that Sladen was an avid believer in Christ. He had very strong faith in itself. So, according to his standards and those integrated within the Word of God, Sladen lived a good life. And at the end of the day, he completed the race and he did it with honor. And I'm sure he's looking down upon us now, more than happy to be in the place that he is in. So, Sladen, we love you. Thank you for all the memories that you integrated into the program, and this season, without a doubt, is for you. Two balls and two strikes to Becerra. Alvarez delivers. Ground ball towards the left side. The shortstop is there. Throw over to first base, and the play is made. 2 men down in the inning. And the shortstop for LA Harbor, Angel Garcia, has done a very nice job today. He's been included in many of the plays, and he's been fielding cleanly, making good throws. So, kudos to him.
Yeah, he's been playing a great shortstop so far. It's kind of one of those things that go unnoticed, but like you said, he has been a big part, kind of in the center of a lot of these plays, and double plays being turned today. So Seahawks rather getting some good defense behind him at short.
Brendan Casillas digs in. Pitches on the inner half, called a ball. It's 1-0. Still 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike. It's 1-1. I'm glad that Sladen is being remembered, not only, by the baseball team and his community out in Alaska, but also by the community here in Southern California, as Brendan Casillas singles towards right center field.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there by Casillas. Just a hard line drive up the middle, ready for the pitch that he got, and didn't miss it. So good job there, and we'll see if the Warriors can keep this momentum rolling a little bit. They've had 7 hits today so far in the game, but just haven't been able to string them together really. So as it looks like we'll have a pinch runner coming into the game.
So for Brendan Casillas, that is number 26, Anthony Garcia.
So Garcia into the game, and we'll see. That's got to mean that
Mateo Draco.
Yeah, Mateo's coming into the game to catch for the Warriors. And isn't it kind of fitting that on a game that we're playing in honor of our fallen catcher, both of these catchers are going to get in the game, and be able to share that memory with for the rest of their lives. They're going to be, a part of this game that was played in his honor.
Yeah, I'm sure that's something that both Brendan and Mateo have considered, the fact that, they're now taking over the spot that Sladen Mohl had manned up all season. So I'm sure they're playing that position with a little bit more of courage now and honor. Throwback over to first, it's not in time. And yeah, I was saying that I'm glad to see the community as a whole celebrate the life of Sladen. On Thursday, as I was about to leave the location, said a prayer with Jay, one of Sladen's former roommates and a former player here of the football team rather, and I had Torrance PD pull up right on the curb actually, and I didn't let that kind of interrupt, the moment I was having with Jay. And then afterwards, all they were was curious, to find out who Sladen was, and they saw the outpour of the community towards him. And, it was quite intriguing to see these gentlemen who I feel to some extent, have the possibility of becoming senseless to these situations because they're so exposed to it. But the fact that they were, intrigued to learn more about the incident and who it involved, it was definitely very reassuring to see the impact that Sladen had on the community, though he wasn't here for too long.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's one of those things that it just kind of goes to show you with the memorial out there at the intersection.
It's a ground ball towards second. And just to let you guys know, if you want to go ahead and visit the memorial, drop off some flowers, and just kind of commemorate even further the life of Sladen Mohl, it is on Hawthorne and Sepulveda. It is right on the corner in front of, it's a jewelry store. I forget what the name of that jewelry store is. I'll get that to you as the break transpires. So yeah, the location is right in front of Jared, the Gallery of Jewelry on Hawthorne and Sepulveda. We continue to the top half of the 8th inning, and we are running out of time. I feel like with these kinds of games, especially when you see the record of your opponent, you don't really take it upon yourself to do something about it until your backs are fully against the wall. Well, at this point, the Warriors are kind of in that situation because you get very complacent. It's a matter of time. It's one run. We'll get it back. But, who knows how much longer.
Yeah, we are. It's getting, into the really the crunch time here in this ball game. And hopefully the Warriors are able to string something together here in these last 2 innings. But really, like I said, it's kind of been there hasn't been a whole lot of action, especially offensively for either team. 1 run across 7 complete innings. Just 10 hits between the 2 teams. So not a whole lot going on today, and really kind of a pitcher's duel. See if the Warriors can just string something together here as this game moves into the later parts of this.
3 balls and 2 strikes to count. The right-hander delivers. Fastball, of course, fouled away.
And Orozco still looks very much in control of this game. He's given up 1 run on 3 hits so far.
That's a chopper towards the right side. Spencer Palmer takes it to the bag himself. Unassisted out. P3. So that gentleman who was just at the plate was number 8, and I don't know what the situation is here, but on the roster there's only one name. Doesn't have a last name, and the name in itself is quite complex. It's Swan Andezi, something like that. It's Suonandajaie. Just throwing that out there for you.
Huh.
Hey, so you can see there. Let's carry here number 8.
Yeah, just one name. That's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, I don't think it's legal either to do that. I think you have to have a last name. Well, this guy, we know his name. It's Christian Gonzalez. Anything more? No, not really. It's no balls and 1 strike. Here comes the pitch. Fouled off towards the left side and down to play.
One of these days, Jonathan, I think we're going to get a foul ball up here.
Yeah, and right to us, too. That's the worst part. It's going to be a line drive. Hopefully that day Colin's not here and you are.
That's true. Hopefully Colin is not here.
The 0-2 on the other half. Throw it around the horn. Mateo, Nathan. Oh, no, that's not it. Mateo Gonzalez Drake. See, I was going to call him Mateo Nathan Draves. It's horrible. Yeah, when these names seem to kind of resemble each other, it's so confusing. Ground ball towards the right side. Spencer Long is there. Come on. To the bottom of the 8th. That's it. We got to score runs here. Right here, this inning. That's it. We got our buddy Shem Rose out here working the computer. Shem Rose Ahmed, you said was your full name, huh? How you doing, Shem? He's getting introduced to the game of baseball. He used to live in Dubai. He said soccer was huge out there, but now he's really become a fan. Would you look at that? Baseball's a universal game. Who doesn't like it, right? It's 1 ball and no strikes. Hitter Logan Young is the top of the lineup. So you know what that means. We got some big bats coming right up. And hopefully they are going to provide some big results. 2 balls and no strikes to Young. Arturo Alvarez is very, very greedy. This guy does not want to come out of the game.
Yeah, he's done a great job so far and limited this Warriors offense that we've seen be very potent in the past. No runs so far for this offense, and still he's just pitching away up on the mound right now. So we'll see if the Warriors can mount something here and get a couple runs across the plate.
2 balls and 1 strike, the count to Young. The right-hander delivers the pitch on a platter towards the inner half. It's 2-2. We see Spencer Long getting loose and warm in the bullpen for the Warriors. He's had an outstanding, almost perfect conference season, so whenever he takes him out, I expect to see some good stuff. The 2-2 is hit out towards left center field. It'll split the gap and roll all the way to the wall. Logan Young on his way towards second. He'll get there standing. Leadoff double to open things up in the bottom half of the 8th inning. And Spencer Palmer digs in, and who else? Who better than this man? Best hitter on the team without a doubt. Throw ball goes back over to first. He's safe. So Young leads off a second. Throw back over once again. And Logan Young did touch the bag as he was rounding first on his way towards second.
And like you said, who do you want up more in this situation than your guy, Spencer Palmer?
What happened?
Looks like we're getting a pitching change here. First baseman looks to be coming in to pitch.
I really thought, and I kid you not, that LA Harbor had just forfeited the game or something. Because all of their team came out, and I was quite confused. But yeah, it's just a pitching change. So let's see what happens. So Spencer Palmer digs in now, and here is a pitching change for LA Harbor College. Logan Young is aboard at second base. Opened up the inning with a double towards left center field. The first baseman is now on the mound to pitch. His name is Jake McKinnon. So it's a lefty on righty matchup. Joseph Borges awaits on deck. Young represents the tying run. Palmer at the plate, the go-ahead run. And this late in the ballgame, it may as well be the winning run.
Yeah, this is a pivotal moment here in the game. But you got your guy up at the plate leading in almost every offensive category for your team this year. Behind him, you got your second leading guy in almost every category. I mean, this is just exactly where you want to be if you're the Warriors. Leadoff man doubles to start the inning. You got Palmer, Borges, Long coming up. I mean, this is really a good spot for the Warriors. Let's see if they can capitalize here.
It's 1 ball and no strikes. McKinnon looks down the barrel to get a sign. Delivers the 1-0. Fastball taken 2-0. The 2-0 pitch, high fastball. It's 3 balls and no strikes. And to no surprise, it looks like LA Harbor wants no part of Spencer Palmer. Or it can also be perhaps that Jake McKinnon wants no part of the strike zone.
Yeah, it looked like his warm-up pitches, I mean, limited amount of those that we were able to see, but it looked like he was missing high, maybe overthrowing a bit. Early release point.
The 3-0 on a platter for a strike, 3-1. Ooh, Spencer Palmer biting his lips on that one. He could have crushed it. Good speed out at second base in Logan Young. Big swing. Spencer Palmer comes up empty. Full count, 3-2. Both dugouts on the edge of the railing.
What a big moment here for Palmer at the plate. His heart's got to be racing right now. But this is the guy you want up. This is the guy that's done it for you all year long.
And here comes the pitch. High fastball taken for ball 4. Now the go-ahead run is on first. Winning remains on second for Joseph Borges.
And just a great at-bat there by Palmer. Gets ahead 3-0. Questionable 3-0 pitch called a strike, in my opinion. Looked a little high. Umpire thought otherwise, called it a strike. Swung at the next one a bit out of the zone, I thought. Maybe expanded the zone just a bit. And then able to draw the walk there on the last pitch. Just not giving in to this pitcher. Not giving in and expanding the zone too far. Now you got Borges up. Oh, man, this is exciting baseball right here, Jonathan.
Let's do it. Come on. Logan Young leads off a second. Spencer Palmer leading off a first. Joseph Borges at the plate. Young represents the tying run. Palmer the go-ahead run. McKinnon steps off the rubber, bluffs towards second. It's a 1-0 ball game. El Camino College looking to keep their first playoff, or not their first playoff, but their first place hopes alive. Righty on righty matchup. Here comes the pitch. That's hit out towards right center field. In right center, the center fielder makes the play. Logan Young is on his way towards third. He's there standing. Runners on the corners for the Warriors. 2 men down as Spencer Long, perhaps one of the best hitters in the lineup with runners in scoring position, digs in.
And we've talked about it before. Long, not one to miss an opportunity for an RBI, up there towards the top of the team as far as RBIs go this season. So you love to see this guy up there right now. Oh, man, this is big time, Jonathan. We need this run here.
Come on.
I would have liked to see maybe a little more patience in that last at-bat. Pitcher's been missing up in the zone, but looked like a good pitch to hit. Borges did hit it pretty far, maybe just missed it from doing some serious damage. But just like to make sure that, Long here as we move on right now.
This Warriors crowd is alive and healthy. Some of the fans on their feet, clapping their way towards victory. They are hoping as a fastball on the inner half is called a strike. It's 0-1. Playoff feels already integrated into the ballgame. You can only imagine what it'll be like next week. No balls and a strike. McKinnon steps off the rubber to gather his thoughts and emotions. Young leads off a third. Palmer leading off a first. Spencer Long at the plate. Long came into the ball game hitting .201, looking to stay above the 200 line. No balls and 1 strike to him. The 0-1. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. No, he did not, says the home plate umpire. I had thought that the infield umpire, I thought that the home plate umpire had made a strike call. So it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Long at the plate. We started off the ball game for Arturo Alvarez, or with Arturo Alvarez. Now with Jake McKinnon on the mound for LA Harbor. The 1-1 pitch. Laced out towards center field. The center fielder hats it. Hit off his glove. Logan Young comes in to score. The ball game is tied 1-1.
And what a job there by Long at the plate. Either way, that was going to score a run. And Warriors fortunate that bounces off the glove. An error there in center field leads to not only a run coming across to tie this ball game, but now first and second with still only 1 out. Ty Conrad at the plate.
Come on.
This is big time here.
Let's go. Got to love it. You've got to love it. Warrior field alive and healthy. The adversity, the emotions integrated into the ball game, being used as a driving force with a passion. Pitch is swung on and missed.
Good swing there by Ty. I like that. I like that approach there. Being aggressive, looking for a first pitch fastball. He got it, just missed it. But I like that approach by Ty. He'd love to knock in a run here.
Without a doubt. No balls and 1 strike, 1 man out. Conrad asks for time. Has to readjust the helmet. The 0-1 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. The catcher, J.J. Duarte, out to have his talk with Jake McKinnon. It's 1 man down in the inning.
Looked like Julian Diaz getting loose with some catching gear on.
Yeah. Wow, talk about a versatile player.
So possible moves being made here. We'll leave that part to Fernley and the coaching staff, but we'll continue to call this exciting half inning with Ty Conrad at the plate.
Palmer on second, Long at first. Conrad looking to drive in one of the Spencers, if not two. Fastball taken. It's 2-1. As I mentioned, this Warriors bullpen has been outstanding this season. So if a run comes in to score, you may as well deem it the winning run. LA Harbor College and their players still hanging on the railing. High hopes for the ball game. It's 2-1. The pitch to Ty is in there at the knees for a strike. The count is even at 2-2. Aaron Orozco awaits on deck. The 2-2 pitch. Conrad does a nice job of staying alive. He fouls this one off.
Good at bat here so far by Ty. Some pretty good pitches by McKinnon. Ty looking to do what he can up there at the plate. In this very exciting bottom of the 8th.
The 2-2. He did not go. Throw goes back over to first, not in time. So the count is full for Ty Conrad. Man, if there's a guy you want to come up big in this situation, it is him. Ty Conrad plays with so much heart and emotion. And as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, he shared the most amount of time, perhaps out of anyone here, with Sladen Mohl over this last year. He used to live with him. Come on, Ty. Come on, Ty. 3 balls and 2 strikes. McKinnon looks down the barrel to get a side. Palmer leads off a second. Long leading off a first. Aaron Orozco waits on deck. Here's the 3-2. Swung on and missed for strike 3.
Good at bat there by Ty. You know, unfortunate come away with a strikeout there, but really a good at bat. Made him throw a lot of pitches. You know, fought and battled his way to that full count. So, you know, good at bat there by Ty. And now we'll see if Orozco can get a base hit and break this tie.
Aaron Orozco. Reliable bat in the lineup for El Camino. Delivers the pitch. 1-0. One and 0 taken. 2-0. Here's the pitch. 2-1. Pitch misses. 3 balls and 1 strike to Aaron Orozco, and the more pitches he sees, the more of a threat he becomes. McCannon delivers a 3-1. Gets away from the catcher, but it's taken for ball 4. So the bases are loaded for Matthew Becerra. And you know what, Jeff? I'll tell you one thing. Due to the at-bats that Becerra has had, this game has his name written all over it.
And he's got an opportunity right now to do some more damage, really make it count right now. Oh, this is exciting baseball here. You got Becerra up, bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. 1 run across already to tie the game. But wouldn't you love to see a couple more come across right now?
Palmer on third, Long on second, Orozco at first, Becerra at the plate. Off speed, drops below the knees. It's 1-0. One ball and no strikes. Here comes the pitch. Misses. It's 2-0. Matthew Becerra doing a nice job of working the count. This is a huge pitch. It'll either drive the count 3-0 or 2-1. Not to mention, Becerra can just put some weight on the ball and get hit or either produce an out. But let's see what happens.
Good hitters count here. Becerra's going to be sitting on something. Probably one pitch in one spot. Fastball inner half is probably what he's looking for right now.
The 2-0. 2-1.
And that's good. Didn't get the pitch he was looking for. That was a fastball at the knees on the outer half. Good pitch there by McKinnon. Not what Becerra was looking for. Good job laying off that one.
Two balls and 1 strike. 2 men down. Huge pitch coming up. That one is in the dirt. It's 3-1, and here we go. That's it. Nowhere to put them. No room for error. 3 balls and 1 strike. The outfield playing deep. Matthew Becerra has a huge decision to make. Will he swing at a 3-1 pitch, or will he hold waiting for ball 4? McKinnon gets the sign. The 3-1 is fouled away. Oh, man. Now the intensity takes a whole new turn.
Oh, man, full count, 2 outs. Runners are going to be moving on the pitch. Oh, man, my palms are getting sweaty up here. This is what baseball is all about.
The bases are loaded. The go-ahead run down the line at third. El Camino looking to keep their first place hopes alive. Becerra at the plate. The pitch is flown out towards center field. The center fielder fighting the sun. He'll make the play and the inning is over. But guess what? We're all tied and we're playing at home. We have the top pitching in the nation. We'll win this ballgame. You heard it here first. Look at that. Aaron Orozco is still on the mound, going for a complete 9 innings. Ty Conrad and left, Joseph Borges in center, and is that Jerry Granillo now in right?
Yeah, Jerry Granillo in the game in right field.
It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Eric Alamillo pops this one up towards left field. It'll be trouble. Taishi Nakawake has it hit off the edge of his glove. He had his back towards the infield. It was a tough play all around, but very, very close and good effort nonetheless.
Yeah, just a trouble spot right there. Kind of falls right in that little triangle. Unfortunately, Ty was playing super deep to start the inning, so that ball finds some grass, but still nothing to worry about right now. You got runner on first base, but a ground ball still gets a double play here. Orozco's been in pretty much complete control of this game, so.
Throw back over to first. Woo! Everyone and their mother thought that Orozco had gotten the base runner. Well, everyone except the home plate umpire, or not the home plate umpire, but the first base umpire, Jose Martin. Throw back over. Not in time. And their first strike, it's 0-1. On 1 is the count. Ground ball towards the left side. Nakawake along for 1 on the first. 6-4-3 double play.
And that is exactly what the doctor ordered right there. We talked about it just before it happened. The ground ball, double play. Oh man, you can just kind of feel Sladen's hand reaching into this game to affect what's going on. I mean, that ball getting down, the run scoring for El Camino. Orozco, the leadoff batter, gets on, and then a double play right to Taishi. It's like we're meant to win this game.
Come on. Let's do it. Ground ball towards the left side. Past both of the diving Nakawake and Becerra.
The slick fielding shortstop steps in the box for the Harbor Seahawks.
Angel Garcia digs in now. Played a big role defensively. Looking to play a big role offensively. That one is in the dirt. Blocked nicely there by Drake behind the plate. The 1-0. Chopper towards the left side. Nakawake makes the play, but it hits off the glove of Spencer Palmer. Goodness. Very unfortunate play there for the Warriors. The throw was there, it beat him, but Spencer Palmer unable to keep it inside his glove. Very unlike him as well. But
yeah, an unfortunate error there at first base. I didn't even see it. He just didn't catch it?
Yeah, so Taishi Nakawake made a nice running grab, and the throw was there, and Palmer put his glove up. It just hit off the top of the glove.
Well, let's see. I don't think Orozco's one to let something like that get him down or get him off his game.
Not at all. Not at all. He's been in worse situations.
Let's see him bounce. All he's got to do is bounce back, and he'll be fine right here.
No balls and 1 strike. Isaiah Bumgarner at the plate. 0-1. Count is even at 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. In the dirt. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
And just a tremendous, tremendous job by Drake behind the plate. Mateo just, oh my gosh, so both back-to-back pitches, sliders in the dirt, moving his body and is just gloving it. I mean, didn't even have to use his body, he just gloved it. It was just doing a great job back there on those pitches.
2-1 pitch. Misses for a ball. It's 3-1. Grown from the home dugout. Three balls and 1 strike for Orozco. Here's the pitch. Popped up towards right field. Jerry Granillo makes the play. We head to the bottom of the 9th inning. We are 1 run away. Stay tuned. To the bottom of the 9th we go. Mateo Gonzalez Drake opens up the half inning for El Camino. He represents the winning run. We're all tied up at 1 for his 2nd inning of work. That is number 33 on the mound, Jake McKenna. It's no balls and 1 strike. It'll be Gonzalez Drake, Taishi Nakawake, and Jerry Granillo. Meanwhile, Spencer Long getting loose and warm in the bullpen for the Warriors. Pitch is fouled away. It's no balls and 2 strikes. To the count here to Mateo Gonzalez Drake. Nakawake awaits on deck. Granillo in the hole. The Warriors looking to pull out the ball game and to take game 1 of this 3-game series as the pitch is in the dirt. Nice block there by J.J. Duarte, though no runners were on. Julian Diaz acting as the bullpen catcher for the Warriors. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. The right-hander delivers on the outer half. The home plate umpire pulls the trigger for strike 3. It's 1 man down as Taishi Nakawake digs in. Taishi had a double his last time up. Here comes the pitch. Bunt is shown, then pulled back in there for a strike anyways. 2-1. Oh, and 1 misses. It's 1-1. The 1-1 pitch misses high. 2 balls and 1 strike.
You can feel the tension here in the ballpark. Everybody on the edge of their seats here. Tie ball game, bottom of the 9th. This game that has so much significance.
Pitch misses high. 3 balls and 1 strike. Here's the 3-1 pitch. 3-2. The full count pitch. High fastball ripped down the left field line, and you can say bye to that one in 3 different languages. Sayonara, aloha, and adios. Taishi Nakawake, a walk-off home run. Wow, speechless. My goodness, Sladen, this one's for you, buddy. Taishi Nakawake, walk-off bomb, his first of the season. No better way to end it. No better way to end it.
And just an absolute storybook ending here for the Warriors. I mean, you can't write this up any better. Just in a game where we mentioned it, you could just feel Sladen's hand all over this as they play Sladen's walk-up music as this game ends in dramatic fashion. Nakawake with the absolute clutch home run walk-off. Oh, words just, you can't describe what's going on right now.
Wow. Storybook ending, the best way to put it. Spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. Walk-off home run. Deep over the left field fence. El Camino closes out the ball game with a victory. No better way to celebrate the life of Sladen Mohl than with a win in his honor. The final line for today's ball game: 2 runs, 10 hits, 1 error for the Warriors. Fairleigh Harbor, 1 run, 5 hits, and 2 errors. We'll be right back with Taishi Nakawake and with our post-game interview. Long live number 18. These kinds of situations are really hard to describe. The emotion on the field right now and the passion, it's like none other. We are brought together by more than a name. Today we were brought together by the passing of one of our brothers. Sladen Mohl, number 18. No better way to pay honor to your name. And this really reminds me of kind of what happened to D. Gordon when he hit a home run, his first at bat after the passing of Jose Fernandez. There was a quote that he said after the game, and it really stood out to me. And I saw a lot of resemblance with what occurred here today. D. Gordon said, "No one can tell me God's not real. I've never hit a ball that far in my life." Taishi Nakawake had no home runs prior to this ball game. We knew him not because of his power, but because of his glove and because of his speed. Nonetheless, favor was upon him today. And it was in the name of Sladen Mohl. We'll get him up here as soon as we can. Right now the team is rejoicing with the Mohl family. I mean, just absolutely spectacular. It's heartwarming. It moves you to, the highest extent. Huge thank you, by the way, to LA Harbor for hanging a number 18 jersey off the railing of their dugout. A class act by them for sure. Taishi Nakawake, the man of the hour. We haven't had him up here this season, but we will. Walk-off home run to cap off a 2-1 victory for El Camino. Jeff trying to get the attention of anyone down there. It's going to be one of the biggest hits Taishi Nakawake ever produces in his life. Perhaps the biggest of all time. I huddled up around Colin now. Jeff still looking to get Taishi up here. Now we've got Colin on the phone. He'll get Taishi up here. So we're going to do Taishi Nakawake and then Aaron Orozco, says Colin Preston. That's crazy, man. Wow.
Thank you.
Give me a hug, man. Damn, bro. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Warrior fans, I mean, as Jeff put it earlier, a fairy tale ending, a storybook ending. Today we celebrated the life of one of our fallen brothers, Sladen Mohl, and it was capped off with a victory. And I mentioned this to you earlier. It reminded me of that moment in the Marlins game where Jose Fernandez had passed away and D. Gordon hit a home run. The guy who you felt was most unlikely to do it, Taishi Nakawake, had not hit one single home run this season. But as I mentioned earlier, he had favor upon him today, and it was remarkable. Just describe to me the emotions running through you. You've literally hit a walk-off home run
I'm honestly
the
speechless.
following game.
Yeah, I'm speechless. It's honestly, that was nothing with me. Honestly, it was all Sladen. I know he's up there looking down on us, and that was just for him. Honestly.
That's beautiful. As I mentioned it, this is solely for Sladen and the transgression and the progression of the season and everything that the Warriors do from here on out is in his honor, and we are going to celebrate his life. My goodness, this is just absolutely remarkable. I am still without words. Taishi, I mean, talk about the emotions felt amongst the team. I mean, such a shocker. You guys were not expecting this whatsoever. Devastating news. How have you guys been able to cope with the loss of Sladen, and what drives you guys now even further into the playoffs?
I think for us it's just having each other. Just being there for each other, the coaches, the players, seeing his family really help, and just coping with that, and just got to move on one game at a time.
In this kind of situation, I think we should just leave it there. We don't really have to go more in depth into the actual game in itself, because this game went above baseball today. It was beyond baseball. It was about a part of our family. And Taishi, finally, man, I know you want to send some words out to Sladen. Do it now, man, so we can all hear it and cherish him and embrace him and celebrate them with you.
Just want to tell you, Sladen, we miss you. We're going to go to Fresno and win this thing for you.
Sladen, man, as I said earlier, you died a warrior and you will always be a warrior in our hearts, man. Number 18, always a warrior, today, tomorrow, and forevermore. We love you, we appreciate you, and we're doing this for you, buddy. Thank you for joining us for today's broadcast, and I can assure you there is more to come. Well, we can't end this ballgame without giving props to Aaron Orozco, because the situation that just unraveled here would not have been possible without the performance delivered by this guy today. Aaron, first and foremost, man, our condolences to you and the rest of the guys, because at the end of the day, we understand that you guys were a family, and though we are as associated with him, you guys spent the last year with Sladen, learning together, building together. So from here on out, as I mentioned earlier today, we're going to do this in Sladen's name, and we're going to win it. And we're going to celebrate his life in the way that, he wanted it to be celebrated with, and it was in victory.
Yeah.
So, Aaron, first and foremost, man, like I said, our condolences to you nonetheless. Just an all-around spectacular performance from you today. It was kind of overshadowed by the lack of offense, but then they came up big, and in perhaps in the most perfect of ways. Talk about the ending here today and how much has it had an impact upon your life, man.
Yo, like that ending was crazy. For a second, I didn't think that our offense was gonna be shut down up until like later on in the game. But I'm just glad that it came through and we were able to put some hits together, find a way. We'll get like one guy on, and somebody happened to be Taishi, just happens to deliver like the last hit.
Yeah, and as I mentioned to Taishi earlier, man, it's in these kind of situations where perhaps the most unlikely of people, Taishi had not had one home run this season, are the ones who are who deliver, and that's just because of the help of of greater forces out there, man. We truly appreciate that, man. So God bless Sladen and his family. And as I mentioned to Def earlier, man, we're just going to live out the season and celebrate it in the way in which he would appreciate the most, and that is with hard work, passion, desire, and with the will to play baseball, man. So first and foremost, or not first and foremost, but lastly, I just want to thank all of you guys for joining us for today's broadcast. And as we mentioned earlier, the link on the GoFundMe account is on the @Elko Baseball Twitter. The family needs all the amount of help they can get. It's one thing to deal with financial expenses, but it's another thing to deal with them along with the loss of one of your family members. So we appreciate you guys. We thank you, and we'll be here for the rest of the season. And as I said earlier, man, there's more to come. So thank you for joining us, guys. Have a very, 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 great rest of your Tuesday evening.